Welcome to the Becoming More podcast. I'm Dianna Kokoszka, and if personal growth is something that you've thought about, maybe you're actually investing in it, then you're on the right track. Today's podcast is about when it comes to personal growth, we all could use a compass. A compass doesn't just walk the road for you. It does not remove the hills. It doesn't remove the valleys, and it definitely doesn't remove the storms that you're going to encounter along the way. A compass simply keeps pointing you in the right direction. And let's face it, when life gets challenging and our emotions get all out of whack, for heaven's sakes, our life can get crazy, and then our business starts getting crazy. And we start suffering in many areas of our life. And I believe that the compass is personal growth. Personal growth is what will keep you on the track, and it guides us towards a better story, a story that we're living out every single day. Not a perfect story, for heaven's sakes, a better story, a story that carries meaning, a story that allows you to look back and say, that mattered. My life actually did matter. And the people around me were better because of the way that I chose to grow, that I chose to lead, that I chose to love them and to actually give back, whether it be giving back my talent, giving money for a cause, whatever it is. Life is better when you give, right? Robert Louis Stevenson said, to be what we are and to become what we are capable of becoming is the only end of life. Now, that quote has stayed with me because it speaks to something deep inside each and every one of us. And there's who we are today, and there's who we're capable of actually becoming. And the gap between those two is where our growth actually occurs. It's where it lives. And it's my desire to help people become what they are capable of becoming. It's actually been the driving force in my life to always add value to other people, to help them reach their potential. And it has shaped the way lessons are taught. It's shaped the way that I've shown up as a leader, the way that I've coached other people. It's going to show up the way that you lead, the way that you coach, the way that you parent your children. Are you encouraging them or just giving them compliments, which actually puts a fixed mindset into them, right? See, when we compliment our children on the efforts that they're putting forward, that's a growth mindset. When we say, oh, you're really good at math, that's literally saying that some people are good and some people aren't so good, which means it's fixed, that either you're good or you're not good in math. And when you put forward the effort, and when you put forward that much effort, you're always going to be good, that keeps a growth mindset in them. So the way that we lead a room that we're in, the way that we encounter people within that room. See, because one thing has become very, very clear over and over again in my life is that people do not rise to the level of their desires. They actually rise to the level of their growth. A statement that has guided my life for years has been, invest in yourself until you become the most expensive thing that you own. How much have you invested in yourself, in your personal growth? See, it doesn't mean expensive in a prideful way, expensive in let me show you the house I own and the car I drive and the clothes I wear, all of that. It's a prideful way, meaning that you're becoming more. And the more that you grow, the more you can help other people grow, because it means that you're valuable, that you're adding value to others. It helps you to develop yourself. therefore being able to help develop others. And it means that you have placed such a high value on the person that you're actually becoming that you choose to grow with purpose, that you work to grow intentionally. And you choose maybe to read, maybe to listen to podcasts like this one. You choose to get in the right rooms with the right people, learning the right things. See, it's a choice. It's your free agency. And maybe you choose to be corrected by getting feedback, because some people take feedback really well and some people, well, they don't, right? See, you choose to let go of what's keeping you the same, getting outside that comfort zone, going into that uncomfortable zone, which some people call the danger zone. And I've got to tell you, the comfortable zone is the one that I think is the danger zone. And personal growth means you are investing in yourself. And here's the truth. Growth is not automatic. It doesn't just happen. It does not happen because your birthday came about, because there's a lot of people that they just get older. They don't get better, right? Some people say, well, I've been doing what I've been doing for 20 years. Well, have they had 20 years of growth? Or have they been in 20 years having the same year over and over and over again, not growing at all? See, age and growth are not the same thing, for heaven's sakes. Time can pass and a person can still think the same. They can still react the same. They can still lead the same. They can blame other people for all their circumstances exactly the same way they've been doing all their life. And they end up living the same. Actually, most of them end up going backwards, right? See, growth takes intention. Are you intentional about your growth? Now, for 20 years, 29 years actually, my mentor, John Maxwell, he taught me to have a personal growth plan every single year. Write out a personal plan in all areas of your life that you are going to grow and how you're going to grow. What classes are you going to take? January, February, March, April. Are you doing something every single month for your growth, every single day with podcasts, reading, listening to others? You know, I do a mentorship program and I have other great people come alongside me like John Maxwell, next year, Dr. Henry Cloud, Susan Scott, Matt Townsend, many people that have poured into my life by having them as coaches. I'm helping other people get to know them through this mentorship program. And it's not about being vague at all, man. We are direct. We are intentional. It's not a wish that we want to get better. We help each other get better. It's not just a general idea. It's actually a plan. And it's planned out what we're going to be studying, what skill we're going to be developing. And it's part of the personal growth plan that each of these people have put themselves on. See, what mindset will be challenged this year? Because I believe there's 7 that limit you and 7 that liberate you. And if you don't know where your mindset is right now, how do you actually improve it? That's why we developed the mindset assessment. What habit will you drop? What habits will you keep? How will you shift those habits? What belief will be examined this year? What room will be entered into and what actions will be taken? Do you actually have them written out? Because without a plan, growth, well, it's good. Maybe it'll work. Yet you got to be intentional. You've got to take action and you've got to actually make corrections all along the way. Because when you take action, well, guess what? You're going to fail from time to time and you got to make those adjustments. I mean, my own growth journey has often been uncomfortable. I don't know about yours. I'm sure it has, because you got to get outside your comfort zone to actually grow. That's where it actually happens. From where life began to where life is gone has always been outside the comfort zone when growth was incurred, right? So think about this. Are you being honest with yourself? Because sometimes it's not pleasant to face where we fall short. Do we have somebody else helping us? Maybe a coach, maybe a mentor, maybe a great friend that will actually tell you the truth so you can grow? Because see, if everybody tells you how great you are, there's never going to be any growth. Growth comes as a result from dropping bad habits, changing wrong priorities, embracing new ways of being. And people who do not grow, they tend to cling to that familiar. Now, are you clinging to the familiar? Because you're not going to improve when you do. Are you avoid facing what maybe isn't going so good that you've got to change? Are you willing to listen to others on how to change? Or are you asking yourself great questions about change? See, that's one of the great tensions of growth. It's kind of like your muscles. When you go in and you exercise, you're actually putting microscopic tears in your muscles. And that's what helps them to grow. Yet most people want to grow their income, grow their bank account, grow their knowledge without having any microscopic tears, without having anything that they have to push through. They don't want to be uncomfortable. I say that you've got to have the desire to have a better life. You've got to have the desire to have a better business before you'll ever have one. A better marriage, maybe better relationships with other people. Are you willing to work at it? Are you willing to get outside your comfort zone, into that uncomfortable zone? Because often we're still holding on to those habits, the thoughts, the stories, the priorities that we've always had in the past. And see, it's very interesting because Einstein said best. In fact, I have this little guy on my desk, this little Einstein here. Einstein reminds me that if you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, well, that's kind of insanity. And a better story actually requires different processes, a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things, because growth is always an inside job. Now, it's about becoming bigger on the inside than on the outside. And I'm not talking about gaining weight, because see, I'm talking about how too many people actually blame the exterior world. They blame everybody else for their problems. And maybe it's their company, it's the market, it's their childhood, it's their boss, their spouse, their team, the economy. Oh, they always have something to blame because they never look internal. Now, as soon as we start believing that our external world is more important than our internal world, well, nothing is ever going to change. See, circumstances are real. Challenges are real. Pain is actually real, for heaven's sakes. And setbacks are real. Yet a lot of times we don't see those setbacks as that actually set-ups for the next best thing in our life. Yet if the only change that we ever make is external, then we'll have the same thinking, we'll keep doing the same things, getting the same results. Oh, people change jobs or change companies all the time thinking, oh, this is absolutely going to change my world. And sometimes it does. If your values don't align, if the culture isn't what you desire it to be, then yes, changing to a company that has your values, your culture, well, yes, that's going to be better for you. Yet to think that the grass is greener on the other side is really a fallacy, because the grass is just as hard to mow, regardless of which lawn you're mowing, right? So think about it. Are you changing things in your exterior world, thinking that's going to change your internal world? No, we have to start with changing our thoughts, with personal growth that will help us. Because wherever you go, you take yourself right along with you. That is the only constant in your life, is you. And that's why the interior world actually matters so much, because anytime that the exterior world is believed to be more important, you're always going to get caught up with, what do I look like? What do I own? How do I come across? And you're always going to want to be right and look good. In fact, your brain wants to look good and be right. So think about it. Are you willing to get outside that comfort zone? Put yourself in a place of personal growth, that you are constantly working on yourself, because life is shaped not by what's happening to us. It's shaped by the way we think, by our beliefs, by our values, what we hold on to, because our thoughts actually direct our choices. And those choices, repeated over and over and over again, become a habit. And those habits either serve us or they take us down. So sometimes we need somebody else telling us that habit is not serving you. That's why personal growth is so valuable. Growth does not only change what you know, growth actually changes what you notice, what you observe, how you observe it, and it changes what you'll actually tolerate. In fact, my husband Tony and I have a saying, don't complain about what you tolerate. If you're going to complain, go do something about it. Don't just keep complaining, expecting something to be different, right? If change is going to help you. And a change repeated over and over again, that's what becomes your habit. And your habit is what forms your life. So think about this. What relationships do you want to increase? And are you willing to grow in those relationships? Are you willing to take time for those relationships? What about your business? Are you taking classes to help your business? Because on most days, growth will not be easy. It has to be intentional. Growth rarely is easy, for heaven's sakes. In fact, life isn't easy. Oh, it's simple. It's just not easy. Yet it will be worth it. Everything that we do to make our personal growth an actual intentional act, it will be worth it. See, yesterday, 2 texts came through, and I've just been so blessed to do what I've been able to do in my life. And these 2 texts from 2 individuals talked about how I had helped them grow, how their life had been changed, and what they're now doing. And I've watched these 2 people, and they have grown, and they shared with me the gratitude that they had. And I was so excited for both of them. Because, see, messages like that matter because they remind us of something that's important. And it's not us. It's who we help, who we serve. And we can't help and serve other people without growing ourselves. In fact, I've grown so much in the last 6, 7 years. It's amazing. All the things that have changed in my life. All of the things that I've learned, the people I've been able to be around, the countries I've been able to visit, the things that I have learned about people, about the brain, about how to take everything in. See, when you grow, other people benefit. And that's why I desire to keep growing, and I'm sure you desire to as well, because when you become stronger, somebody else is encouraged, and they start believing that they can become stronger. And that is so important, because when you become wiser, somebody else receives better wisdom. When you become a better leader and you raise your leadership lid, well, they become a better person. And you then are able to help develop them as leaders. When you become more disciplined, someone else experiences more stability. And when you become more generous, someone else receives value. When you become more courageous, say, someone else finds courage. Your growth will always travel further than you think. So the question becomes very, very simple in our life. What are you learning, and how are you implementing what you learn? It's not enough to just accumulate knowledge. In fact, I say there's many people that they are just addicted to information and allergic to implementation. Because without taking action, without implementing, that knowledge is like you don't have it at all, for heaven's sakes. Knowledge that's applied is what becomes wisdom. And the people who make a difference in this world, well, they're intentional about building a bridge between knowing and doing. And a lot of people, well, they know what to do, yet fewer people do what they know. Think about that. People know what to do, yet fewer people do what they know. Oh, they know that the conversation that could be had, and then they don't have it. Oh, they know about the phone call that needs to be made, yet they don't make it. They know about the apology that needs to be offered, yet they don't make it. Maybe they know a habit that needs to be changed, yet it's too difficult. Do you know a book that maybe you should be reading that's sitting on your nightstand? Maybe there's a standard that you should be raising for you and for your team. Or are you allowing people to use excuses in your world? Are you allowing them to drop the ball without accountability on your part as the leader? And still, a lot of people have that knowing just sitting there on the side of that bridge while doing is still waiting on the other side. See, growth, well, it asks us to cross that bridge. In fact, it forces us to cross that bridge. Not perfectly by heaven's means. You're never going to do anything perfect. You don't even cross the bridge all at once. It's one step at a time. And along the way, you're going to fall, you're going to fail, and you're going to have to adapt to a new way of thinking, a new way of doing something. You're going to have to learn. You're going to implement, make mistakes, adjust, and learn a new way. That's in my book, Becoming More. And you'll implement over and over and over again, correcting things along the way. And each time you implement and you change, you're going to grow personally. That's how people become more. So another question rises up in my head right now. Will you take the challenge? Because see, at the end of my book of Becoming More, the challenge is just very simply stated. May you continue to become more as there are countless people eagerly anticipating the full expression of your greatness. That's it. Because your greatness matters, because your life is connected to so many other lives. It's kind of like those aspen trees in Colorado. It's one root system, all of them connected. And that's how the world is. We're all connected with each other. And there are people that they desire for you to grow so you can help them grow. There are people that will be lifted up because you chose personal growth in your life. You chose to make that decision. And you didn't let the checkbook do the thinking for you. You actually thought it out for yourself. And those people now have the courage to go do the same. See, there are people who will be led differently because you chose to become more. You chose to learn. There are children, team members, clients, friends, families, even communities that will be impacted by your personal growth. And as a leader and as a parent, the importance of fostering an environment that encourages everyone else around us to grow is very important. So whether you're seated in the boardroom or working around the house, for heaven's sakes, there will be moments when you feel that longing for becoming more. Please know that personal growth is the answer. Oh, maybe you need more meaning, more growth, more impact, more wisdom, more discipline, more peace, more contribution, more ability to serve the people that you're around. You know, over the years, there were occasions where more was longed for personally, yet that longing was felt even more deeply when it came to the children that I had. I wanted more for them, and I know that you do too. So put together a personal growth plan as a family. Put together a personal growth plan with your children and let them know that you care about their growth. Because seeing greatness in someone who does not yet see it in themselves, oh, that is so beautiful. And they need that encouragement. They need for you to believe in them more than they believe in themselves. That's a gift that you can give to everybody. See them as more than they actually are. See that they have more ability in them. See that they have more intelligence, more wisdom, more heart, for heaven's sakes. See where they can become more and help them do that. Because everybody has these self-imposed boundaries that they put on themselves. And Boundaries are built by those old stories that people just keep carrying around in their mind. And some of the boundaries are, well, they're built by fear of failure. Boundaries are built by someone else's opinion that told you who they thought you were, how they thought you were doing something. Yet it's not what people say to you that counts, it's what you say to yourself after they stop talking. Eleanor Roosevelt said that, and it's a great statement. It's not what people say to you that counts, it's what you say to yourself after they stop talking. See, that's when boundaries are built by disappointment, when you keep those words, hanging on to them, replaying them over and over again in your mind. Boundaries that are built by the past that keep pretending that the future is owned by them. And when it comes to personal growth, well, many people, letting that checkbook do their thinking for them, they hold themselves back. They have decided some way, somehow, maybe from a past story, that they're just not worth the investment. They say that costs too much while staying in the same thinking that's actually costing them far more. Growth has a cost to it. It really does. Staying the same actually has a cost to it. And the cost of growth may be money, time, energy, humility, discipline, yet the cost of staying the same, well, that may be regret, missed opportunity, repeated patterns, limited influence, damaged relationships, maybe even a story that never became what it could have been. See, the checkbook can count the price. It can count the money. It can calculate that, yet it can't calculate your legacy. That's why investing in yourself actually matters, not because a course and what it costs. It's about the legacy that you desire to leave. And growth still requires your participation. I mean, let's think about it. When you invest in yourself, you got to participate in the growth that you invested in. Don't just take notes and let them sit on the shelf or put them in a drawer, because you'll have the most priced shelves and the most expensive drawers or the most knowledgeable drawers in town, yet it won't be up here in your head. Because see, sometimes the person that you desire to become is on the other side of that investment. Maybe the family that you desire to have is on the other side of investing in yourself. Maybe the calling that you've been waiting for is actually waiting for you to grow a little bit more. Story after story, you'll continue to share. Now, some of your stories, I've heard a bunch of them. Some have been filled with triumph and some with accomplishments. Some are filled with desires and, well, some aren't even being told. Some are filled with setbacks, yet others are filled with rising up, with actually being successful after having many failures. Now, whatever your story is, I want you to know it's significant, because every person has a story and every story matters. And the story is not what you were handed at birth. The story is not how you grew up. The story is what you're living today. Because see, the story of your past really doesn't matter. It matters to where you're going to. And personal growth is the only way that you're going to get there. So what decisions will you make? What decision will you make today about personal growth? Now, the past cannot be rewritten. The perception that you have of the past can be rewritten. And thankfully, the present is spotless. I mean, today you are on the edge of the sky is the limit future. And the page in front of you called the story of your life is still clean. And you are the creator. You are the character. Make certain you're the main character. You are the crusader and you are the champion of your very own story. And that means you are not merely a reader of what happened yesterday. You are an active participant in what happens and what gets written. And you can write a better story. And it all starts with personal growth. So may your personal growth be at the top of your list. May you sit down now and write out a personal growth plan. What will you do for the rest of the year, every single month, to grow? Maybe it's to grow in business, to grow in wealth, to grow in your net worth, to grow in relationships, to grow spiritually, to so many areas of your life, health, for heaven's sakes. Write them all down and know that that path that you're on, you're going to make mistakes. And failure isn't final. It's, do you get a return on it? Like John Maxwell's new book, Get a Return on Failure. See, don't miss the mark. Make certain that personal growth is what you're after, because growth is a great classroom. Life is a great classroom, and it's how you view it and how you do it, because how you view life is how you're going to live life. So may life be your very, very best, and may personal growth be right up there at the top, because that's how you're going to become more. So please know, if you like this, please subscribe below. And if you need help with the personal growth plan, just go to diannak.com. We're here to help you. Thanks so much for joining.